Now, if you want to tell the government what you think of their plans to build a high-speed railway link from London to the north, you better do so pretty swiftly. Today is the closing day for consultations on Phase 2, the bit that takes it beyond Birmingham to Manchester and Leeds. Andrew Morris is a businessman who runs the 20 Miles More campaign, and he is on the line. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And I'm guessing wildly here that it's 20 miles more that would take it to Liverpool.
Yeah, well, fundamentally, Liverpool needs a dedicated link to the high-speed rail network. And it's just a case of another 20 miles out of a 330-mile network.
Yeah, it would cost a fortune, though, wouldn't it? I mean, even
no, it wouldn't,
10 yards cost a fortune.
Well, we look at the cost of not doing it. So Liverpool and its wider region, over the 20-year period from when HS2 would be built, according to KPMG, that wider region could lose £2 billion over a 20-year period. If we build
how can you possibly, or they possibly, make a calculation like that? Because it assumes so many different things, doesn't it?
It does, but one thing we know is that rail freight is growing. It has been growing, and Liverpool is strategically important for the UK. It's the gateway to the West.
But you don't need a high-speed link for rail freight, surely?
You don't, but this is the fundamental misunderstanding about high-speed rail. It takes passenger services off the West Coast Main Line and on our networks around our city regions and allows new passenger services and new freight services. And HS2 Limited have made a fundamental mistake with the high-speed rail network in the northwest. North of Crewe, it doesn't create any new capacity, even though it extends another 56 kilometres further north.
It doesn't. Sorry, I don't quite understand that. It doesn't create any new capacity,
yes,
but it's a new line, and therefore many, many more trains can run.
Yes, but it reroutes Scottish services to Edinburgh over the northern part of the West Coast Main Line, and because Liverpool is not served, and because of the West Coast Main Line mainly carries freight. That freight isn't relieved at a key junction for the Liverpool City region that also carries all the freight from Scotland, from Cumbria, from Lancashire, down to Wales, to the south, to the Midlands. And we desperately need Liverpool to be linked to High Speed 2 to relieve that section.
But wouldn't you get every significant city in the land advancing that same sort of argument? I mean, Newcastle surely would say the same, for instance.
Well, fundamentally, Liverpool is only 20 miles away from the network, and Liverpool is the largest city in Britain that isn't connected. It's our third biggest rail hub, has more rail passengers than Leeds or Manchester, but there's been a fundamental misunderstanding of Liverpool's role in the UK's economy. Liverpool is now... Its economy is operating at the national average, and it's got the fastest rate of private sector jobs growth since 2010. It's going to exceed the national average, and that growth is going to be jeopardised by the lack of a high-speed rail link.
Well, thanks very much indeed, Andrew Morris.